Hello and welcome to this edition of News Today. Without delay, let's have a look at the headlines first. Justice B.R. Gavai to take oath as the 52nd Chief Justice of India. World's first commercial-scale e-Methanol plant began operations in Denmark. India's retail inflation eases to 6-year low in April 2025. Understanding Indian MSME sector, progress and challenges, report released by SIDBI. India's major ports demonstrated remarkable progress in FY 2024-25 over the past decade. In a significant development for India's judiciary, Justice B.R. Gavai is all set to take oath as the 52nd Chief Justice of India. But how is the Chief Justice of India appointed? What are the roles and duties of the CJI? Let's break it down. Starting with the structure of India's Supreme Court. Article 124, Clause 1 of the Constitution provides for a Supreme Court of India consisting of the Chief Justice of India and not more than 33 other judges. So, the Supreme Court can have a maximum of 34 judges, including the Chief Justice. Now coming to the appointment. As per Article 124, Clause 2, the Chief Justice of India is appointed by the President of India. This appointment follows a dual convention: consultation with the outgoing Chief Justice of India and selecting the senior-most judge of the Supreme Court as the next CJI. But how exactly does this process unfold? According to the Memorandum of Procedure, the process begins with the Union Law Minister seeking the recommendation of the outgoing Chief Justice of India. This recommendation is then forwarded to the Prime Minister, who advises the President on the appointment. Moving on to the tenure. The Chief Justice of India serves until the age of 65 years. The oath of office is administered by the President. And a quick historical fact: India's first Chief Justice of India was Harilal J. Kania. Another crucial point: the office of the Chief Justice of India is not beyond public scrutiny. It comes under the Right to Information Act, RTI 2005. Let's now focus on the key roles and duties of the CJI. Firstly, in terms of administrative appointments, the Chief Justice appoints the officers and servants of the Supreme Court as per Article 146. In addition, there are statutory appointments. The CJI acts as the chairperson of the Search-cum-Selection Committee for appointing members of statutory bodies like the National Company Law Appellate Tribunal. And the title of Master of the Roster. This is an exclusive power of the Chief Justice of India, which is defined in the Handbook of Practice and Procedure and Office Procedure 2017. It means the CJI has the authority to allocate cases to different branches of the Supreme Court. A few more key roles include administering the oath of office to the President of India, appointing ad hoc judges, requesting retired judges to act as judges, and even deciding the seat of the Supreme Court. So, that's all about the appointment, roles and duties of the Chief Justice of India, with Justice B.R. Gavai now ready to assume this esteemed position as the 52nd CJI of India. In a groundbreaking development, the world's first commercial-scale e-Methanol plant has begun operations in Denmark. But what exactly is e-Methanol and why is it being called a game-changer? Let's dive right in. E-Methanol, also known as electromethanol, is a low-carbon energy solution. It is produced by combining green hydrogen with captured carbon dioxide. E-Methanol offers a viable path for reducing emissions in hard-to-abate sectors such as shipping and chemical manufacturing. But how does this production work? The process involves 3 key steps. First, green hydrogen generation, where renewable energy-powered water electrolysis is used to create hydrogen feedstock. Second, carbon dioxide capture. Carbon dioxide is captured from industrial flue gases like those from steel mills or cement plants, or even directly from the air. This not only provides a source for CO2 but also helps reduce emissions at the source. And finally, methanol synthesis. The captured carbon dioxide is combined with green hydrogen in a catalytic reactor under pressure, resulting in e-methanol with minimal byproducts. So why is e-methanol important? It offers several benefits. It can be used without any change in existing infrastructure. It is stable, storable at room temperature and ambient pressure, and is versatile. Its derivatives like gasoline and kerosene can even support road and air transport. But despite these advantages, there are challenges. E-methanol remains significantly more expensive than fossil-based methanol. The primary reasons are the high cost of renewable electricity and production inefficiencies. Now, coming to India's efforts. The Methanol Economy Program, initiated by Niti Aayog, aims to reduce India's oil import bill, curb greenhouse gas emissions, and convert coal reserves and municipal solid waste into methanol. How does this program work? Well, methanol is produced from higher ash coal, agricultural residue, carbon dioxide from thermal power plants, and natural gas. And the benefits? It can generate close to 5 million jobs through methanol production, application, and distribution services. Moreover, it is expected to save around 6,000 crore rupees annually by blending 20% dimethyl ether or DME, a derivative of methanol, in LPG. So, with the world's first e-Methanol plant already operational in Denmark and India's ongoing efforts under the Methanol Economy Program, the future of this clean fuel looks promising. Moving on. In a significant economic update, India's retail inflation has eased to a 6-year low in April 2025. But what does this mean for the common man? Let's take a closer look. According to provisional data released by the Union Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation, the headline inflation for April 2025 has declined by 18 basis points compared to March 2025. Now diving into the numbers. The All India Consumer Price Index or CPI combined for April 2025 compared to April 2024 stands at 3.16%. This is the lowest year-on-year inflation recorded since July 2019. But what exactly is CPI? The Consumer Price Index measures the average change in prices paid by consumers over time for a specified basket of goods and services. In India, the CPI combined is an aggregate of CPI urban and CPI rural. CPI is compiled by the National Statistical Office under MOSPI using the base year 2012. A quick note on core inflation. Core inflation, which excludes the more volatile food and fuel prices, has slightly risen to 4.1%. But it remains well within the Reserve Bank of India's inflation target. Now, why has inflation eased? Primarily due to easing food prices, especially vegetables and pulses. In addition, non-food items like housing and pan, tobacco, and intoxicants also witnessed a drop in prices as compared to March. Now, let's take a closer look at rural inflation. The rural sector has seen a significant decline in headline and food inflation. The headline inflation here is now at 2.92% compared to 3.25% in March. Before we wrap up, let's quickly understand some key terms. Inflation is the rate of increase in prices over a given period of time. Inflation is typically a broad measure, such as the overall increase in prices or the increase in the cost of living in a country. Headline inflation reflects changes in the prices of a representative basket of goods and services that households buy as measured by the Consumer Price Index. The CPI includes prices for thousands of items including fuel and light, housing, food and beverages, etc. While core inflation excludes food and fuel, which are considered relatively more volatile. So, with retail inflation hitting a 6-year low, it could bring some relief to consumers across India.
Next, we look at a critical segment of India's economy, the micro, small and medium enterprises or MSMEs. A new report titled Understanding Indian MSME Sector, Progress and Challenges has just been released by SIDBI, offering a comprehensive overview of this vital sector. Now, what exactly does this report highlight? It covers key challenges faced by MSMEs across 19 sectors in manufacturing, services and trading. These challenges include access to finance, technology adoption, competition, compliance, market access, infrastructure, supply chain issues, and skilled labor availability. So how important is the MSME sector to the Indian economy? Quite significant, in fact. MSMEs contributed 30.1% to gross value added in FY 2022-23. And when it comes to exports, they accounted for a whopping 45.79% up to May 2024 in FY 2024-25. Now, let's move on to the major challenges that continue to plague the sector. First up, inadequate access to credit remains a core issue. This is largely due to the lack of formalization, insufficient credit history, limited awareness of credit schemes, and an inability to tap into capital markets owing to the transparency and regulatory norms required. Adding to that, high competition and the challenge of technology adoption are also weighing down on MSMEs. The rapidly evolving business landscape demands the adoption of new technologies, something many MSMEs find difficult due to limited resources and expertise. And there's more. The sector also grapples with a complex regulatory landscape, inadequate infrastructure, unreliable and costly supply of utilities, and difficulty in sourcing both raw materials and skilled manpower. But it's not all bleak. There are initiatives underway to support MSMEs. Let's begin with the Union Budget 2025-26, which introduced several measures. These include the revised classification of MSMEs, credit cards for micro enterprises, a new fund of funds, enhanced credit guarantee, and a national manufacturing mission to support clean tech manufacturing. And connecting to that, there are also MSME developmental schemes, such as the Credit Guarantee Scheme for Micro and Small Enterprises, and a new credit assessment model for micro and small enterprises based on digital footprints. This was announced in the Union Budget of July 2024. Now, let's turn to the revised classification criteria for MSMEs. Micro enterprises are defined as those with an investment up to 2.5 crore rupees and an annual turnover of up to 10 crore rupees, increased from the earlier limits of 1 crore and 5 crore rupees respectively. Small enterprises now include those with an investment of up to 25 crore rupees and annual turnover of up to 100 crore rupees, compared to the previous limits of 10 crore and 50 crore rupees. Meanwhile, medium enterprises are classified as those with an investment of up to 125 crore rupees and annual turnover of up to 500 crore rupees, revised from the earlier thresholds of 50 and 250 crore rupees. That wraps our detailed outlook at the current state of India's MSME sector, its significant contributions, persistent challenges, and the efforts being made to uplift it. Now, let's turn our attention to a significant pillar of India's economic infrastructure, our ports. India's major ports have demonstrated remarkable progress in FY 2024-25, marking a decade of steady growth and transformation. To begin with, it's important to note that Indian ports handle around 90% of EXIM cargo by volume and 70% by value, playing a pivotal role in driving the country's growth and global competitiveness. Now, let's look at the key achievements from the last financial year. Cargo handling of major ports registered an annual growth rate of 4.3%, increasing from 890 million tons in FY 2023-24 to approximately 855 million tons in FY 2024-25. In a historic milestone, Paradip Port Authority or PPA and Deen Dayal Port Authority or DPA, two major ports, surpassed the 150 million ton cargo handling mark for the first time. Moving on to operational efficiency, the average turnaround time improved by 48%, from 96 hours in FY 2014-15 to 49.5 hours in FY 2024-25. Along with that, idle time dropped by approximately 29% over the same period. In terms of financial performance, total income more than doubled, rising from 11,760 crore rupees in FY 2014-15 to 24,203 crore rupees in FY 2024-25, reflecting a compound annual growth rate or CAGR of 7.5% over 10 years. What's more, there has been a threefold increase in private sector investment in public-private partnership or PPP projects at major ports, further boosting growth and modernization. Now let's understand the broader structure of India's port sector. India currently has 12 major ports, with Vadhavan and Galathea Bay under development and over 200 non-major ports. The administrative control of major ports lie with the Ministry of Shipping, while non-major ports are under state maritime boards or respective state governments. Legally, major ports are governed by the Major Port Authorities Act 2021, whereas non-major ports fall under the Indian Ports Act 1908. India's coastline is dotted with 12 major ports, strategically located across various states to support maritime trade and connectivity. On the western coast, Kandla Port in Gujarat and Mumbai Port Trust, along with JNPT and the upcoming Vadhavan Port in Maharashtra, play a crucial role. Mormugao Port in Goa and Mangaluru Port in Karnataka also serve as key maritime hubs. Moving down south, Kerala is home to Kochi Port, while Chennai Port, Ennur or Kamarajar Port, and VO Chidambaranar Port Trust in Tuticorin serve the Tamil Nadu region. On the eastern coast, Vishakhapatnam Port in Andhra Pradesh and Paradip Port in Odisha are vital to trade operations. Kolkata Port in West Bengal extends its services inland, and Galathea Bay Port in the Andaman and Nicobar Islands is currently under development, further expanding India's port network. But how is India strengthening its port infrastructure? Several key initiatives are in place. First, there's Sagamala, the flagship program launched in 2015 aimed at port modernization, new port development, port connectivity, and coastal community development. Around 839 projects worth 5.79 lakh crore rupees have been identified for implementation under this program. Then, we have the Maritime India Vision 2030, which outlines 150 initiatives to position India as a global maritime leader. Other notable efforts include the National Logistics Portal Marine Sagar Setu, Real-Time Performance Monitoring Dashboard, and Sagar Manthan, each enhancing efficiency, transparency, and accountability across the sector. That's a wrap on India's sports sector. A decade of determined progress, growing capacity, and strategic vision shaping the future of maritime logistics.
In today's Personality in News, we will talk about former President Fakhruddin Ali Ahmed, as the President paid tributes to him on his birth anniversary. Fakhruddin Ali Ahmed, born in 1905, was a distinguished lawyer and politician who served as the 5th President of India from 1974 until his death in 1977. But his contributions go far beyond his tenure as President. He joined the Indian National Congress and was a loyal follower of Mahatma Gandhi. His commitment to India's independence was evident as he actively participated in the individual Satyagraha and Quit India movement, for which he was arrested in 1942. After independence, his political journey continued. He was elected to the Rajya Sabha in 1952 and later to the Lok Sabha in 1967. Over the years, he held various significant portfolios, including food and agriculture, cooperation, education, industrial development, and company laws. As president, he is most remembered for the proclamation of emergency in 1975, done on the advice of the then Prime Minister. Known for his values of patriotism, leadership, dedication, and constitutionalism, Fakhruddin Ali Ahmed's legacy as a freedom fighter, a dedicated politician, and a former president continues to inspire.
As we conclude today's main news, let's have a look at some quick updates. Order blocking YouTube channel 4 p.m. under IT Procedure and Safeguards for blocking for access of information by public rules 2009 has been withdrawn by central government. Rule 9, blocking of information in cases of emergency, does not have provision of an opportunity of hearing to the creator. National Bank for Financing, Infrastructure and Development, or NABFID, recently undertook non-deal investor meetings in Hong Kong in preparation to issue its first offshore bond. NABFID was established in 2021 by an Act of the Parliament, the National Bank for Financing, Infrastructure and Development Act 2021. Inland Waterways Authority of India has set up a new office in Srinagar to develop river navigation infrastructure in 3 national waterways in the Union Territory, that is, NW26 River Chenab, NW49 River Jhelum, and NW84 River Ravi. IWAI is a statutory body established under the Inland Waterways Authority of India Act 1986. India maintains that recent measures taken by United States related to tariffs are not consistent with General Agreement on Tariffs and Trade, or GATT 1994, and Agreement on Safeguards, or AOS. GATT is an agreement between states aiming at eliminating discrimination and reducing tariffs and other trade barriers. State government of Himachal Pradesh notified Sarab Chu Conservation Reserve, India's largest in Spiti Valley. Sarab Chu is the location of the confluence of the Unam River and Sharab Nala. It is particularly known for the snow leopard, often called the ghost of the mountains. Global Report on Internal Displacement, or GRID 2025, was released by the Internal Displacement Monitoring Center. Internal displacement refers to the forced movement of people within their country, while internally displaced people are people forced to flee their homes due to conflict or disasters without crossing international borders. Center for Development of Telematics under Department of Communications has signed an MOU to develop drone-based quantum key distribution or QKD systems using the decoy-based BB84 protocol. QKD technology ensures unconditional data security by using the principles of quantum mechanics. The event AT 2024 TVD, detected 600 million light-years away, marks the first offset TDE ever captured. TDE is a cataclysmic phenomenon marked by an intense flash of radiation caused by a supermassive black hole eating a star, and it occurs when a star strays close to the black hole.
Before we sign off, let's challenge your understanding in today's installment of Test Your Learning. Thank you for joining us. We hope you found this episode of News Today engaging. For the solutions to the quiz and to access the PDF version of News Today, remember to visit the provided links in the description below.